To the insane asylum. Unless you want to go somewhere else. Oh, no, we can't. To the insane asylum.
You synced it up already?
No. But me doing that should be good enough, right?
Yep.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago. Like a
He's
miner
literally sleeping on
or a
the couch.
soldier. Empty. Dead tired. Then I saw Tessa. My darling little daughter. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly. But she wasn't real. Just the ghost of a memory. I'm here, I cried. But all I heard was laughter. Not hers. Who's there? Suddenly, she appeared. Natasha. Just stood there laughing. But her eyes were cold. Then she said something. Painted red. Painted red. Painted red. That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more. I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go home and forget about all of this. Of course.
Got that dog in him.
Gas instead. Anything good, but this. I was thinking the same.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Let's hope so.
What in the world? Oh, jeez.
This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's M.B. Davis himself?
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, no. The poor devil.
The song finally got to him. Break Me.
Listen to the music. I like it. How it's...
Gentle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he sold his soul to the devil, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you wind up when you do stuff like that. Kind of like that one guitarist that they talk about.
Mm-hmm. You live good for a time, though.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it?
What?
Sell yourself to the devil to live good for a short time?
Nah.
No.
I don't think it's worth it. Not like if you end up like this. No, I'm good. I
All
don't need
expenses paid for?
No, I don't need that. Would you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It depends on how good it is.
I can give you everything you ever desired.
Everything?
Everything.
Forever?
Not forever. He's like a genie. There's certain rules, you know. He can't just give you everything.
I devise a team. We try to make it work. All right, boys. I got 3 wishes.
Oh,
that could be a movie.
couldn't you just wish to be a genie yourself and make all the wishes you wanted for yourself?
That's what Jafar did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And then they put him in the lamp.
Of all the great wild ones,
Greetings, miss.
is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you, the chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumy, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles when I was a
Yikes.
little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God, oh God, oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Oh, jeez, this is the greatest day of her life. Police squad. Alright, let's see.
Miranda, giraffe, female, full of life, full of hope, full of almost everything, and she is a big fan of us, unfortunately. An overly nice nurse we met behind the desk of the asylum. Her name is Miranda, and she's an embarrassingly huge fan of the chicken place.
Say, miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty.
Like Quetzalcoatl?
Do many
That's
people
what I was
work here?
thinking.
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff, and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher,
And
patron,
courtesan.
And spy.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
Oh, what kind of name is that?
Quetzalcoatl.
No, the first name. Sesuas?
Yes, something.
I'm sure they'll say it.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so.
Aha.
Now, what can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right, I'll do it. Albert Wessler. The patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I
We'll
promise.
change your name in the next book.
Or
So
the
when
author
can
will.
we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
Talk to MB Davis.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. I don't think we can.
It doesn't matter how big a star you once were. Ending up lonely and crazy in a rotting insane asylum in the middle of nowhere is like the universe restoring its balance.
That was very poetic of you, Marty. Almost deep. Careful you don't drown. Pluck you.
That is kind of crazy, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably famous for, like, at most 20 years or something like that, and you just... This is your life now?
Yeah.
You think he knows where he's at?
Maybe. Maybe he knows, but he doesn't, you know? Like he's trapped inside himself?
Oh, that would be the worst.
That would be
Oh
horrible.
my God.
I'm going to figure if you're making deals with the devil, that's what would happen.
Oh, jeez. Let's see, how do you say that?
Sesunas?
Sesuous? Quetzalcoatl.
Green tree python. Male, cold, distant, professional, and gives me the creeps. The professor is real polyester? Scientist, writer, philosopher, and who knows what else.
No, I gotta know what polyhister is.
Let's find out.
Let's see. I'm gonna Google it real quick. Here, you wanna take over? Oh, my phone's making noise.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa! Oh, it's the king.
Mm.
I don't remember his name, but...
Picture.
Well, it must have been made by one of the patients, so it's understandable.
It's the handiwork of our director. He's not only a scientist, but he's a great painter, too.
I see.
Well, it's lovely to have a hobby, right?
That's right, Marty.
So a polyhister is basically somebody whose knowledge spans a bunch of subjects.
Mm. That makes sense.
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
That is just like a weird mural to have,
Yeah.
you know?
Know we're here first.
They know we're here.
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
He's
What a
waiting for us.
surprise.
Oh.
It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
I think he's dead.
Danger. What do you mean?
He's still here.
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared.
Oh, okay.
And we're really,
I thought they were
really
gonna be like, he's still here.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
great wild ones protect him.
Upstairs.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell. Ugh, of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly. Great wild ones. You scared the hell out of me.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell. And birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Okay.
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense. Is this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except there are even bigger ones than this.
For the gorilla patients.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, cluck up.
Isn't that like a quote from a game?
What we're all mad here?
No, insanity is like, or the definition of insanity is
Oh yeah,
doing something over and over again.
and expecting different results.
Yeah.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Sessuous Quetzalcoatl, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from
the Predatory Division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service. But you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
12 years. No.
Some time. His first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of
Having trouble.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Clawville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance. Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery.
Oh
But I
boy.
can turn that to my advantage.
This guy's gonna be a hard
Just need to
case.
focus
You
on
think
the
so?
strangest
Yeah.
pieces of the puzzle.
So focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle. Okay.
So when did Albert become a
So
resident of your
when did
institute?
Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4
Both
years
of them?
ago.
Oh,
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in
That's
silence
weird.
scared of his
and
family or something.
darkness.
Maybe.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did. But who am I to judge? It was rather...
You know, that kind of reminds me of the royal family, where they had, like, I think it was Queen Elizabeth's cousins or something like that, and they locked them away in a hospital because they were, like, I think they were autistic or something, and they wound up just dying in that hospital.
Oh, wow.
Like, they lived there for, like, 60 years or something like that, and they don't have, like, a royal grave, or they never got their royal pension or anything.
Dang. That sucks.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell me, did Ivan Wessler threaten you in any way? Or what kind of special treatment did Albert get?
Ooh, that's a tough one because he can't really talk about stuff like that, right?
Well, can he? Albert's not a patient anymore.
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing.
Let's see.
Hmm.
Addicted to details, and he's mysterious.
But you have to use the mystery to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
What kind of treatment?
Yeah, that's what I would go with.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
Electroshock.
Except the wrestler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
But then you would come to find out that he had, what, depression, schizophrenia, and something else.
Yeah.
He's a daydreamer and addicted to details. Do you think he was a threat to others? How did Albert relate to you? How do you see Albert when you first met him?
I think the first one.
You think?
Or maybe the third one.
Cause see, I'm thinking the second one.
I mean, they're all good.
I mean, we could probably break it down. Let's see. How did you see Albert when you first met him?
We kind of already know the answer to that.
Yeah, because he's just a guest.
Yeah, brought in by Ivan.
Right. How did Albert relate to you? I don't know how. Maybe not to. I don't know, man. Do you think he was a threat? I don't think he would be a threat to others.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
my vote is 2.
Yeah, we'll do 2.
I see you're starting to get to know me in some way.
I'm just doing my job, Doctor.
You and me both.
Okay. So not horrible, but not great either.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple
Are
personalities?
you telling me
Uh-oh.
Albert
Indeed.
had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes,
He frequented denial.
Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. You're keeping some things from me, am I right? Okay.
Second one looks good so far.
Yeah, the second one definitely. How could you let Albert leave this place? Ooh. Well, because he's not a patient. When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
that might be-
man.
I'm thinking the last one.
Yeah, I agree.
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him.
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for
Jeez.
hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting
Ooh.
for his brother.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So you already knew about that.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
Okay.
Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother? Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting? So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting. Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha?
Oh.
I'm thinking the third one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
More like his brother.
Maybe.
The subject material.
Oh.
And he was painting Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally,
Archibald
I
and
mean.
the
And
Bobcat.
Albert
Yeah.
was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn
Ooh.
out or cut off.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's when he learned about her past.
And he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
Wow.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert.
So wait. So Albert's the one that did horror and all that kind of stuff,
It has to be.
and he killed Deborah
Mm-hmm.
because he's probably looking for Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
But that means he was able to leave by himself?
I guess. Let's find out. Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly? The two fellows who brought Albert back, could you describe them? You didn't believe Albert had an accident, is that right?
I think the third one?
Let's see.
Because we can probably guess who the two
Yeah.
were, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the third one's probably good.
I hope so. Dang, man, we were doing so good too.
Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident? Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert?
I have no idea.
I'm thinking the second one.
Whatever you think, I'm gonna go with because I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay.
What happened then?
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative
Jeez.
state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
90. Oh,
Oh, not bad.
we missed one. We did bad on one, and it gives us a 60.
Because there's a 20.1 that we got wrong. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, yeah.